Okay everyone, I'm back on this 72 or 2 by 72 inch grinder, and I'm going to be working on the lever that's going to pull the spring down for the tension for the belt. So I couldn't find any 1/4 inch steel. I wanted some 1/4 inch flat bar and I couldn't find any, so I had a couple scrap pieces of 1/8 inch, and I figured, well, if I welded them together, I can make a 1/4 inch out of them. So let me show you what I'm going to work with here. I have 2 pieces of 1/8 inch steel. These are by 1/2 inch, I think. No, they're 5/8. They're 5/8 inch wide. They're 1/8 inch thick, 5/8 wide. Don't exactly know where I got these 2 pieces. I'm sure you could get it at Huntington Steel if you want it. But anyhow, I'm going to be welding these 2 guys together, and then we're going to be making the lever over here. Now this piece here, this is a piece of 1/2 inch dowel. This is going to be welded to this, and we'll be drilling a hole through this and a hole through the side so the cable can go into it, and then we can slide our cable down in there and then tighten the bolt, and it's going to tighten up on the cable that's going through the tensioner. And we'll probably just be using like a 1/4 inch bolt on the other side just to hold this in, and then we're going to be welding on some kind of a hook, and that way when it goes down we can hook it. That way you don't have to worry about holding it down, and you can reach over there and use both hands to put your belt on, and it should work out very good. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try to thread this cable down through here, which I know it's a tough one. So I'm going to get it threaded down through all this tubing down into the bottom so we can get it started hooking up. So this is my first piece to do. Okay, I got the cable run down through here. Just going to put it off to the side for now. Now, I started tacking this a little bit together, and it just doesn't feel like it's going to be strong enough. So what I think I might do is, I have a bunch of this 1/2 inch dowel. I think what I might do is just build the whole handle and all out of the 1/2 inch dowel. I think it may be stronger than this 1/4 inch. It just feels so flimsy. I don't think it's going to work. So I'm going to grab me a piece of 1/2 inch solid dowel, and I'll see how I can make it work on there. Okay, I got me a 1/2 inch piece of dowel. This is about 16 inches long, and I cleaned the end of it. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and weld this nut, or this bolt, right to the end. This is a 1/4 inch bolt that'll go right through the side of my piece there for my lever, right through the stand. That'll give me my lever there. So I'm going to go ahead and tack this, get this welded on here, and then we'll see how this goes here. Hopefully it'll work out. Okay, I got the bolt welded on there, which is going to go through the side of this. Now I'm going to do my best on drilling the straightest hole that I possibly can through the side of this thing, so I can go ahead and slide this in. This is just 1/4 inch. We'll probably just throw a washer on it and slide it in there, and hopefully that'll make our lever a pretty nice lever for this thing. So we're going to go ahead and try to drill a hole through here. I don't want it too low. I want it up a little high on here. So okay, I got my lever in there. I just put a nut on the other side of it. Now what I want to do is get this piece welded on here, because this is going to be what the cable goes through. We're going to drill and tap one side, and we're going to drill a hole through here so the cable, and then when we tighten that nut down, or that bolt down on there, it will actually smash the cable inside this. That will be what holds my cable into place. So what I want to do is line this up with where I want it to go, so that cable will be inside there, and that way I'll be lined up. I want to be lined up with the hole where the cable's at. So I'm going to get that in place, and then I'm going to get it tacked, and then I'll pull it back out, and we'll go ahead and drill and do what we have to do on this side. I still haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to lock it down, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. So we're going to go ahead and drill some holes in here. I might even, well, I'm not going to bend the handle quite yet. I'm going to wait. Well, I could. Maybe I'll give the handle a bend right here, 90 degrees to these out this way, just the opposite, and then drill these holes. Okay, I wanted to show you how I got that set up. I drilled that hole in there, and I drilled a hole through the side of it so the cable could go down through. And then we'll slide our cable in there, and then we'll tighten our bolt up, and that'll hold our cable tight. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing put on the grinder. Okay, I slid the cable in there and tightened it up, put the rod in there, and as you can see, when I pull down, it pulls this piece down, which is going to help you when you need to change your belt. Now, I just got to figure out my locking, how I'm going to get it to lock. Somehow I'm going to figure out a lock. I don't know exactly how, but we're going to figure out some type of a lock here. So I'm going to go ahead and bend this in a 90-degree angle so we have our handle coming out this way. Okay, this is what we've got so far. And I cut the cable off. I got it tightened in there and got it cut off. I probably should have left it a little bit longer, but I didn't. But I think it'll be alright. And we got plenty of tension on there. Our handle works great. I would like to be able to lock this down somehow. Just haven't figured that one out yet. But it's coming along. Alright guys, I've had a little bit of time to think about how I wanted to make the locking mechanism, and it took me a long time to cut this thing out. As you can see, it's like in a pretty awkward shape, but it's set up to where when the rod comes down, the rod pushes this down and locks the handle. That way when the handle's locked down, I can move the sandpaper off without actually using both hands. I could use both hands to take the paper off, but if you see how it works here, it has to be put in a certain area here and it will lock, and then you just push it over and unlock it. But it has to be right in the perfect place here. We're going to go ahead and weld it in there, and I'll show you how it'll work. Alright, I got it welded into place now. This is how it'll work. You push it down and it locks the handle down, so this is down in the downward position. Hopefully we got enough on it. If we don't, we can always adjust the cable, but that will lock it down. And if you want to push it up, just lock your thing. I think it works pretty good. It's actually going to be nice because now I don't have to use both hands to hold the sandpaper, or I could use both hands to put the sandpaper on, and it locks it down. It's pretty good. I think it's going to work out just fine. I could actually take a little bit more. I think it's actually good. It just needs to be worked in there a little bit. It's probably got some burrs on it, but it does work pretty good. So that's my locking mechanism, and for the spring, I think it's going to work all right. It's not like you'd be taking it, well, you might take it off a bunch. Don't know. We'll see. And my cable going up through the bottom here is not touching anywhere on the metal coming through the tube, so it won't be rubbing on there. We don't want it to rub so it wears that cable out. We still ain't got the pulley, so we're going to go ahead and work on the switch. We got to have a mount here for this switch so we could turn it on and off and have it nice and sturdy. So I'm just going to take a piece of angle iron, cut it down the same width of this thing, and go ahead and weld it on there and drill my holes and get that to where it's bolted down on there. And then we'll probably drill some couple small holes along the side to be able to zip tie them wires in there to keep them out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing cut and mounted on. Okay, I just tacked that piece of metal on there. I cut it down. If you notice, it's not straight. It's not actually tall enough for this, but I think it's going to work out just fine. I actually held it together, pinched it together, and tacked it there and there on the other side. That way this thing actually is set in the way it's supposed to be. The bolts will be flat, there won't be no pressure on this plastic. So I'm going to go ahead and weld this on here and get our holes drilled for our switch. Okay, I got all the holes drilled in there. Now I'm just gonna put a couple bolts up through here. Do the same thing over here. Now, like I said, the reason why I put the angle iron on there just did a little bit of angle, so there's no pressure on this plastic. We don't want it to break. So now what we'll do is we'll drill a few holes, a couple holes down this side, so we could zip tie this wire going back this way, and then I'll have to take all this cord back out of the motor. I'll string it underneath the motor in here, and then we'll plug it in from this side, and it'll be a short cord up to the motor. We don't need all that extra wire. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I'll just run the cord through here and up into the motor. That'll get rid of a bunch of extra wire that we don't need, because this motor is not going to ever leave this thing unless it goes for junk. Okay, we got it all wired up, zip tied in there. I run the cord underneath the motor and come out that side over there. We still have a little bit of play, more than enough for adjustment. So this is the way we're going to, it should stay like this. Mind you, all this has to be torn back apart again just so we can clean it and paint it. But we're going to get everything set up to where it works. Turn the motor on. And I think that's a pretty good setup. It's kind of out of our way, and I think it's going to work fine. Alright everyone, I think this is the end of this part here. We got the motor done. We got a few little things done on here. We got the little legs built. We got the motor slots put in. So we're going to stop it here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.